You are live. Hello. I hope at least one person. Hello, one people. Hello, one people. Me people. Let's see. There's one. Who's on there with us? Say hello to everybody, one person. Waiting for minutes with Mylo. Just going to check it, make sure. There it goes. Alright. Participants. Are there any participants yet? Just me, but that's okay. That's okay. So, I begged and pleaded and asked around, and nobody wanted to be a guest this evening. I wouldn't force anybody to be a guest. So, it's just me for now. Maybe somebody will surprise me and message me, Facebook me, email me something about me. I want to get on. So, and maybe not. Hello, Robert. How are you? So, I have been reading a little bit about how to be polite to your viewers. So, if you're watching this after it's recorded, and meaning it not at the live stream, thank you very much. And if you would, hit the like, thumbs up button, subscribe, leave a comment. That not only helps me with YouTube, but it helps me hopefully do a little better show. If somebody hates it, tell me why. If you love it, tell me why. But leave a comment. You can just say comment. I don't care. So that's what I'm supposed to do to make people love me, I think. And then I put my banners up. I don't have any banners up. Let's see. Let's do this one. That's my email address. So if you get froggy feeling and you want to leap on here with me, you can email me there. I can send you a link. You can get on and we'll chitty chat. I'll put up the other one in a minute. It has all my, let's see what this one does. Oh, that's all my socials. But let's go back to the email, because that's just one thing going across those through there. And then we'll go back to comments. All right, Robert, you're there with two other people besides yourself. Whoever's out there, if you can comment, say hello so I'll know you're there and I can say hi to you. Make you feel special and warm and fuzzy because I said hi to you in YouTube land. What? Craig Hughes. Somebody finally figured out how to let him comment. All right. So, I don't know. We've been going 3 minutes here. Most people don't hop on immediately, so that's okay. I don't end on time anyway. So, I guess does everything sound okay? Does everything look okay? How do you like the backdrop? One of Ryan's going to be able to make it. His wife one day is going to say, "Won't you stop watching that silly show? My goodness, you spend so much time on that computer." Not that I've ever heard that, but you know. All right, so Robert, Craig, and then it's me, 3. Is that right? So it says 3. Let me look over here. See what it says about participants. How did I do that before? Oh, there it is. Yep. Participants. There it is. Smarty pants, participants. Look at that. So far, nobody. Nobody loves me. Okay. So, still just three of us, 5 minutes. I'm going to talk on different, like the title says, open topics. There's not very many. It could be 1,000. But in my mind, I've picked a couple. So I guess it's just going to be the three of us. So I think I told Craig about this the other day, and I got kind of the gist of it, but not the all of it. So this was I'm going to show it to you here in a second, as soon as I clear up some of this junk that keeps dingling on my computer. What's that? Photo gallery. Quit that. Well, stop it. Next. I don't want to go next. No thanks. Oh my gosh. Alright, so I was talking with Craig the other day, maybe today, I don't know, man, about this meme I saw, and apparently it was on Facebook. So yes, that's Minutes with Mylo on Facebook. Check it out. Very interesting. But anyway, let me show you this meme that I read, and it made me, like a lot of things, bounce ideas around in my head. And share screen, share this screen. Okay, so, man, can you even see that? Can y'all read it? Let me know. Robert, can you read that? See how small it is? I can't tell. I cannot tell if you can read it from here. But I think you can. If it looks like it's on my screen, then you should be able to read it. So, he's talking to Scotty. Of course, Scotty was the engineer. And for you that may be tuning in late, watching it after it's live, if you don't know, this is the original Star Trek series that, started it all in my book. But anyway, you can't read that? Is it tiny? Teeny tiny? Is that the deal? Let me see. What happens if I click it? Does it make it larger? Whoa. Too small. I wonder what it looks like. Take a picture of it, Robert, and then show it to me tomorrow. I don't know what it looks like when it shares on your screen, because I don't know if there's any way to make it bigger. So down in here, Scotty's talking on the captain's intercom chair. Captain, let's see, wait a minute, let me see if I can get this right. Captain, we can't hold this speed much longer. And then the captain says, just turn the engines off then. We can continue at this speed forever unless affected by an outside force. That's how space works, Scotty. So, that made me think. That is the way I understand space working, right? You get your space vehicle traveling at 55,000 million miles an hour. You turn off the thrusters, your engine, and because it's in a vacuum, and well, let's just say you're not, you picked a pretty good course. As long as you don't hit anything, then you get to go at that same speed. Now, you can't read that. You're not going to be able to read these comments. And I wished you could. I wished I knew why you couldn't read it. Or if there was something I could do to make it larger. And I don't know what that means or what that might involve. Because I don't think anything that I do here, well, let's look at this just real quick. Bear with me here. let's share the screen again. I'm going to share this screen. We're going to go up here, screen 2, share. Alright, so now it takes up the whole screen. Is that any better? Does it make it bigger so that you can see it now? Since my beautiful picture's not in there anymore. Excuse me. Is anybody typing anything? So I'm not getting anybody typing something. Alright, so Craig says nope. That didn't make any difference. Well, that's crazy. Like I said, I don't think I can do anything else. Look at me down there in the corner. Woo, little guy. Because, I mean, this makes it full screen for me. And I don't think that changes anything for you all. Does that change anything for you? In full screen mode, new private chat messages. I don't want private chat. Let's get out of here. Alright. So anyway, I'm going to stop that. Go back to me. So it made me, think about how space worked, or in my feeble, county school educated mind, how this worked. And you go back, I wish you could see these comments, but this Captain Kirk, the man, the myth, the legend, is apparently a group or something on Facebook. Anyway, you have your comments that are like, oh wow, that's cool and all that kind of stuff. Well, Robert, I was just thinking that maybe you could hold your phone up and just snap a picture and show me that way. Just because, you wouldn't be able to. I mean, I guess you could email it to me. You showed me tomorrow at work on your phone what it kind of looked like. I don't know how big it is, or if there's any way to, to zoom in on that, because it was a Facebook, post. But then, like I said, back to the comments, you have a couple of just normal everyday comments, about the meme. And then you have one guy that they start getting more into, well, you're traveling in space and there's black holes and gravitational forces, and you have to have engines to get around those kind of things. And I guess they're basically saying those would be outside forces that would affect, the ship just going in a straight line or at that constant speed, and he would, pull it away and go here and there. And then one guy gets on and really talks about how Star Trek and the use of impulse engines, since Scotty said the word speed, they must not have been at warp. They must have been using their impulse engines, and how that created these fields, and they're outside of normal space. There's a subspace driver coil. Wow. It was like, man, I don't know about all that. That just kind of threw me for a loop. So that meme brought back this idea that I had kind of for a discussion. I know it was a long way to get to it, but when I saw this guy's comment, I guess in my mind, I think everybody thinks a little bit like me, is like, well, that was a cool meme, and yeah, space is kind of like that. So yeah, back Star Trek was just kind of, playing on everybody's naive outlook that, a spaceship was like a car. You started the engine, you gave it fuel, it started speeding up. You got into warp speed, which was, faster than the speed of light. But, nobody knows what that is because nobody's ever gone that fast. And then when you cut the engines off, the thing stopped. So, I think maybe they knew a lot more about it than what they let on in the show. Probably did, or they guessed a lot more about it than they laid on in the show. So, anyway, so you're on your phone. I'm sidetracked by the chat because Robert says he's on his phone. He was going to take a screenshot of the phone and just text it to me. Sometimes I don't know how to take screenshots with my phone. I've got one that I use for this. I've got one that I just use for minutes with Mylo stuff. That if you just barely tap the power buttons on the back, or the wake up button, power button, all that kind of stuff's on the back of it, like where your index finger would go here. If you just barely lay your finger on it, it takes a screenshot. And I'll be looking at things, I'll be holding it like this, and my finger will rest against it. The next thing I know, I hear it go, and I've taken like 3 or 4 screenshots just because my finger's on it. So one of them, you push the power button, and it comes up with choices, and the bottom choice is screenshot. I don't know. Maybe you can just say, screenshot. Computer, take a screenshot. So we're off on this screenshot thing. Go back to my topic. So this meme reminded me of an idea that I had for a conversation on Minutes with Mylo. And if you're just joining us, like it, subscribe to it, comment on it, hit the notification button, do all those YouTuber things to help me out. So now it's just down to 2 people. Oh. Anyway, I guess it was the United States. I didn't look up. I was pretty sure it's the United States. It might have been the world. Who knows? Anyway, fired a spaceship, a satellite. I don't think it was a rocket. Maybe it was a rocket. And hit an asteroid. Right out there in space somewhere. Why? Because they wanted to see if they could. There's that big thing. Maybe one day I'll talk about this because I'd listened to a podcast by Joe Rogan on the Joe Rogan Experience. He had a guy on there that talked about, people are worried about everyday life things like they should be, but none of them really take into account or even know how close, objects come to Earth, come by Earth that's flying through, passing through on space. And the possibility of Earth getting struck again, which it has in the past, by large meteors, asteroids, whatever, chunks of dirt flying through space, is pretty good possibility. I mean, so one of the things I guess they wanted to know would be, could you? And I don't see why they couldn't, because they can land people on the moon, if you believe that. If you don't believe that, then so be it. But they can figure out this is coming at us at this speed. We have to have a rocket that goes this fast. And I guess the problem is, though, a asteroid is very small compared to the moon. And I don't know, maybe it's in an erratic, unpredictable kind of arc. I don't know. But anyway, they hit it. All right. So this leads me to question, what effect did it have on it? If, I hit a car with a snowball, then nothing. Nothing happens. But we're in space. So there's no gravity. There's no friction on the tires. There's nothing, except its mass going through space, getting hit with another mass. What does it do? Let's say it deflects it. Because I think part of the thing would be, okay, if they can think this is going to hit Earth, they're going to want to move it. They can't move Earth. So maybe they're going to try to move this thing that's going to hit us. Would they atomic bomb blast it? Would they, I don't know, send guys up in a spaceship to land on it and drill holes in it and then blow it apart so it splits around, goes around the Earth? Like that. Whoop. You know, Bruce Willis can do it. So, did it move it? And what impact would that have? This thing's been traveling through space how long? I mean, everything in space is old, old, old. Did it come? It might have been one of those guys that comes by here every 50 years. You know, there's asteroids that make the loop, that come around every so often. Maybe it's one of those dudes, and they knew he was coming. Just like the guy coming around and going to work every day. I know he's there. I'm going to hide behind the bush with my snowball. And when he comes around to go to work, I'm going to whiz it out there and I'm going to hit his car with it. So maybe they knew this thing was coming and they hit it. What did it have any effect? And if they did, would they tell you? It's like, oh no, man, that didn't have any effect. There's no way it could have any effect. Just like, no way, the Earth's round, man. The thing's flat. It's flat like a pancake. Not round like a snowball. And then that leads me into my alien theories. So here we are, a bunch of redneck hooligans on the Earth, hitting cars with snowballs, and it deflects it. Just a 100,000th of a degree. But is that enough to, in another millennia, another 1,000 years, another 100 years, that now instead of going back around and not hitting the Earth in its normal rotation or its normal around the block or going to work, like my scenario with the guy, going to work hitting him with a snowball, does it swing out this time and get closer to the Earth? Or does it go somewhere else and get closer to another planet? Or does now it collide with something that it never would have collided with if we hadn't reached out and touched it with our little snowball rocket? And we could make some things mad, maybe. I told Craig, I said, you knock that thing out of its orbit, you knock it off course, and it goes and it hits an alien planet, and they're smart enough probably to realize, well, them hooligans on Earth hit that thing. It never would have hit us if they hadn't done that. Let's go kill them. Let's go get our pound of flesh, our retribution. So it's called the ripple effect. You throw one little pebble into the pond, and the ripples go out and touch every bank of the pond. Some more than others, but still yet. You drop that pebble in there, and they go out, and they touch every edge of that pond. So we're in this pond. We dropped that pebble in there by hitting this asteroid thing. Could it make a difference? Probably not. I mean, I wouldn't think they'd be crazy enough at this stage to actually say, well, let's throw something really big at it, and if we hit it, let's see what happens. I think now they just wanted to see if they could hit it. But once they get started, let's hit the next one a little harder. Well, then the next one. Now let's see if we can actually move it. One day that may come back to bite us, right? So that's when I saw the meme about things in space traveling the same, course, the same speed, unless it's affected by an outside force, and we would be that outside force. So, if you're watching this after the live stream, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. I know I'm stupid. I know it's kind of a stupid idea, but you got to admit they do it once. they're going to do it again. They're going to try to hit it again. They're going to have to. Right? You just can't not do that. So, I guess you need to know how big the rock is, how fast it's going, and what they hit it with. Maybe, like I said, they hit it with a snowball and it's a tractor and trailer, but they still hit it. I just can't help but wonder. We do things out there that we think is, that ain't nothing. That's nothing. What could we be screwing up, when we do those things? So leave me a comment. Tell me what you think, because I don't know. But the one guy that I did listen to on the Joe Rogan podcast was basically saying if you went and researched how close objects come to the Earth and the Moon, you'd forget about, can I make my mortgage payment for the next 30 years? You'd just be thinking, Chicken Little thoughts about, I hope the sky doesn't fall on my head in the next 30 years, because it wouldn't take much, I don't think, a good-sized rock hitting anywhere, is going to cause a lot of problems. A lot of problems. This day and time, I don't think there's anywhere you could drop a rock from space and not hit somebody. The chances are really good it hit somewhere. But anyway, so it's 26 minutes in. We've had the maximum of 3 people. Now there's 2. So I guess Robert's still here, if he hadn't fallen asleep. And I guess Craig's still here. Both of you still here? Raise your hands. Everybody raise your hands. Robert says, I agree 100% that I'm the best looking guy probably on the computer right now. I agree with you 100% too. What else you got? Craig, are you out there? I like to do show and tell, right? So let me grab something real quick here. All right. So, hey, look at Craig. I think that's a bullseye thing he just put up there. All right. Craig goes in. He goes all in, man. He's in that chat. He's all in. Okay. So, when my kids were young and impressionable, and they thought Dad knew a lot of stuff, I guess we got them this kid. I don't know how old they were. I don't remember. But anyway, I was thinking about doing this thing, not really as a show, but what I was kind of thinking of doing, I know you can't grow these things live on YouTube, but what I was thinking would be to there's only a couple of things left in here, if it still even work too. I don't know, man, how this stuff, crystals grow. But anyway, there's only a couple of these experiments left in here. One of them is the geode thing. I don't think I can do that because I got to have certain chemicals that I don't think are in there anymore. Excuse me. But I think I might be able to do one of these. I think there's an amber cluster in here that I might be able to do. And what I was thinking about doing is starting it and then taking a picture of it, like, I don't know, depending on how quick it grows. If it grows in 24 hours, then, taking several pictures of it. If it grows in 24 days, then this is the amber cluster. I think I might be able to do that. Then taking a picture of it, like, maybe every day, just to show how it grows, and then do like an old-timey slideshow. on a computer, of course. You know, putting up the slides. You know, this is it at day 1, day 2, day 3, day 20, day 24, and then show the whole thing as it now sits. Do you think that would be something that you might be interested in looking at? And like I said, it wouldn't be, and maybe I would just show, I could get on there and I do a show every 4 days, and maybe I could just, if it's a thing that I can bring out, I don't know, you might have to put it in a refrigerator. I haven't read up on it, but it might be something that I could bring and show on the beginning or the end of every show, just so you could physically see what it looked like over a period of time. Maybe not take pictures of it or whatever, but actually show it and see how it's growing. I can't imagine it would take very long to grow them. So would that be something you might be interested in seeing, not seeing? Would you just want me to grow one? I'm kind of doing the same thing a little bit right now. I told Craig about it today. And I don't want to I don't want to spoil the surprise. There we go. And it's not going to be a very big surprise, so don't think I'm building a car behind the curtain here and then I'm going to flash it, and have a Lamborghini back there or something. But anyway, I'm doing something right now that I'm kind of thinking I might do the same kind of deal. I'm taking some pictures of it as it goes through the process, and then hopefully if it pans out, I could do like a little bitty slideshow. But this crystal thing, my wife found it the other day. I don't even know if it'll still work, but if it's something you think that you might be interested in doing, let me know, or seeing. And like I said, it wouldn't be a whole show, it's just be part of it. And another thing that I found that might be interesting to go through and look at one night would be these Time magazines. And this one is, focus, little camera, focus, January the 20th. That's right, 1978. Yes, sirree. And you can tell, some of these are so brittle. You can see the spine here, the back, how it's tore up. But I was looking through some of these things, and it would just be really interesting to see. It's really crazy. Just a little thing that I was looking at before the show. Robert, I know in my book, buddy, you're still a 10. But I was looking through these ads, and maybe that would just be the thing to do, just to get through here and look at some of these ads, right? You don't have to settle for color picture that won't stay right. Zenith Color Century controls and corrects your color picture 30 times a second. No! Get out! 30 times a second. Think of it as a TV control room in your set to give you that great Zenith picture automatically. No interference from you, it's automatically. But I was thinking about breaking out some of these things. A lot of it it is kind of a show and tell deal. But anyway, I really thought, and I have another package I think it's U.S. News. I don't think it's Newsweek. I think it's U.S. News or U.S. Daily or U.S. something. It's another magazine. But there was a couple of things, and this show is for entertainment, but there was a couple of things that I was reading about, and it's amazing how the things we're living with today, is a repeat, literally is a repeat of times that I had lived in before and never realized. It's almost, it's hard to realize like Robert said, he was 10 years old. Your view of the world at 10 years old is nothing like it is, now. And so things that you knew nothing about and didn't really give a rat's patootie about, your whole day was, can you move the rabbit ears so that I can get better cartoons? When are we going to get more than 3 channels? Right? So, anyway, some of the ads and the articles in here are just unbelievable. So, anyway, those are a couple of things. I've got to update my list that I put out about ideas. I'm going to update it and then put it back out there for people to look at, and hopefully get a little more feedback on things people would want to see and not see. And I've marked off some of the things that I've done already. So, but anyway, all right, we're on here 35 minutes, and you've heard me ramble on long enough. And like I said, if you watched it live, thanks for staying around. Robert, Craig, thank you for coming, and I know Craig's worked hard on trying to get on there to comment, and he's made like maybe 3 comments. I guess when you're old and you just had a birthday, 3 is your limit for one night, isn't it? So maybe if you're old enough, once a night's enough. Woo. So appreciate you guys coming. I don't hold it against anybody that can't come, because you got your own life, and this may not be, able to do it one night, but I won't forgive you twice. So you better be here next time if you know who you are. You didn't make it. And if you're watching it later and you've made it this far, my hat's off to you. Then you probably have liked, subscribed, hit the notification button, did all those kind of things, and I appreciate it. So, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell everybody. Thursday, 9 o'clock, still going to try to do that. And I appreciate you guys coming, and we'll cut it off. And I guess I'll see you 2 tomorrow. Bye. Wave your phalanges at everybody.